Have you ever wondered what life is really like in the world's most secretive state, North Korea? This enigmatic nation, led by the enigmatic Kim Jong-un, is shrouded in mystery. A tightly controlled narrative and strict information regulations have made it an enigma to the outside world. The reality of life within its borders remains a puzzle, with glimpses and fragments only adding to the intrigue. So buckle up as we embark on a journey into the unknown, delving into the harsh reality of life in North Korea. The story of North Korea is inseparable from the story of the Kim dynasty. The inception of this dynasty dates back to the 1940s, when Kim Il-sung, a guerrilla fighter against Japanese colonial rule, emerged as a national hero. With the backing of Soviet forces, Kim Il-sung established himself as the supreme leader and laid the foundations of the Kim dynasty. His rule was characterized by a personality cult, fueled by an extensive propaganda machine, which presented him as the savior of the Korean people. Upon his death in 1994, his son Kim Jong-il took the reins, further entrenching the dynasty's hold over the nation. Fast forward to the 21st century and we see Kim Jong-un, the youngest son of Kim Jong-il, assuming power. Despite his youthful age and limited political experience, Kim Jong-un swiftly consolidated his rule. His focus has been on bolstering North Korea's nuclear capabilities, arguably a strategic move to secure his regime and command respect on the global stage. This pursuit, however, has been at the expense of his country's citizens, many of whom live in extreme poverty. Kim Jong-un's reign has been marked by a relentless pursuit of nuclear capabilities, with little regard for the well-being of his country's citizens. Life under Kim Jong-un's rule is far from the utopia that the regime's propaganda machine would have you believe. Imagine a world where the words you speak have to be weighed carefully, for a slip could lead to unthinkable consequences. This is the reality for North Koreans, where freedom of speech is not a right, but a luxury only a few dare to indulge in. Public executions are not just tales spun to frighten the populace into submission, but a harsh reality witnessed by many, including children. This grim spectacle serves as a chilling reminder of the regime's power and the price of dissent. Let's not forget the forced labor, where men, women, and even children are compelled to toil under harsh conditions, often for the most trivial offenses. While these atrocities persist, a stark contrast exists within the country's social strata. A small, privileged elite bask in relative luxury, their lives a far cry from the economic hardships endured by the majority. Many North Koreans grapple with poverty, living on the brink of starvation, while their leader indulges in lavish banquets. The regime maintains an iron grip on the movement of its citizens, both within the country and beyond its borders. The dream of escape is often just that, a dream, as the government's extensive surveillance network and severe punishments make any attempt perilous. For many North Koreans, life is a daily struggle for survival, overshadowed by the constant fear of the regime's brutal punishments. As the international community becomes increasingly aware of the harsh realities in North Korea, the question becomes, what can and should be done? This is a question that world leaders, diplomats, and human rights advocates grapple with every day. The United Nations, for instance, has imposed a series of sanctions on North Korea in an attempt to curb its nuclear ambitions and respond to its appalling human rights abuses. These sanctions, however, are not without controversy. Some argue that they disproportionately affect ordinary North Koreans, exacerbating their suffering instead of alleviating it. On the other hand, others maintain that these measures are necessary to pressure the Kim regime into changing its ways. Meanwhile, diplomatic efforts continue. The United States, South Korea, and other nations have engaged in numerous rounds of talks with North Korea, striving to negotiate a peaceful resolution to the nuclear issue. Yet despite these efforts, progress has been slow and fraught with setbacks. The world's response to North Korea is a complex and multifaceted issue with no easy solutions. However, one thing is clear. As we become more aware of the harsh realities faced by the North Korean people, inaction is not an option. While the future of North Korea remains uncertain, it is clear that the world cannot turn a blind eye to the plight of its people. The harsh reality of life in North Korea is a stark reminder of the lengths to which a regime will go to maintain power. We've navigated through the enigma that is North Korea, unraveled the rise of the Kim dynasty, and peered into the daily life under Kim Jong-un's rule. This journey has revealed a regime that thrives on absolute control, where the public is subjected to intense surveillance, harsh punishments, and an omnipresent narrative glorifying the leader. We've also examined the world's response, a complex interplay of diplomacy, sanctions, and strategic maneuvers. Despite the global pressure, Kim Jong-un remains resolute, even passing a law for automatic nuclear retaliation. The world watches, negotiates, and hopes for a peaceful resolution. Yet amid these geopolitical chess moves, the North Korean people persevere, their spirit unbroken. As we continue to seek understanding and solutions, one thing remains clear. The people of North Korea deserve a future free from fear and oppression.